I'm Joe Walmart. It's not my real name. It's my online name. I live in Toronto, Canada. And this is my editorial for Life in a Day. Really, it's just another day of my journey in search of a story. I find myself at the autumn of my life realizing that I continue to have a love-fear relationship with knowledge. The more I learn, the more I realize what I still need to learn. It's an ongoing journey of self. I love science. It continues to drive the innovation that shapes our lives. Today, technology allows us to transmit more information than we ever have. However, we communicate less. Why is that? We have evolved into a complex network of autonomous decision-making agents. That's us. There are a number of interactions between me, you, and us. And this fuels a chaotic socio-economic system, which I think is on the verge of collapse. In complex systems, small actions grow over time to create really big problems. If we act stupid, and we often do, today's apparent solution becomes tomorrow an insolvable problem. Example, the World Cup, just like the Olympics, is touted to bring us together. It's supposed to be like holding hands and we all sing Kumbaya. I contend that such events are not creating social harmony. In actual fact, they are making us more tribal. Just look at all the antics and the behaviors after a win. You know, you can forget about us. It's really all about me. Also, you recall a year or so ago the collapse of our economic system? That was a result of a few scumbags who were driven by self-interest greed, unscrupulous business ethics, and influenced heavily by a culture of me win. They traded worthless financial instruments at our expense, and they made it seem complicated. So, and stupid you and us let them get away with it. Why have we become collectively stupid? I fear that we've lost the motivation to learn, understand, and confront serious socioeconomic issues through political leadership. Politics of developing countries are unknowingly building a postmodern culture that fosters being dumb is cool and being sexy is preferred over being smart. It seems we've become comfortable with being stupid. We failed to learn. Education isn't cool. What happened? These days we're more interested in the plights of Lindsay Lohan going to jail, or Mel Gibson having a rage, or who's the bachelorette really going to choose? Who's driving this accelerating decline into dumbness? The profit-driven companies, entities, and their consumer marketing focus really present the biggest fear for me. But corporations per se don't make decisions. People do. And the primary culprits are, first, let's blame the politicians. Second, let's blame the journalists. And third, let's blame those religious leaders. I could continue with lawyers and economists who are also driven by delusions of being knowledgeable because too many of us continue to listen to them. Let's start with the politicians. Typically, they compromise any type of scruples or principles for self-preservation, theirs. Most politicians are driven by some inner cry of their egos to deny their mortality. And given their general lack of rational decision-making capability, it causes them to make policy which often create the conditions that grow into tomorrow's problem. The financial industry collapse was characteristic of that. Also, another example. Yesterday, the news media, CNN, ran a story that reflects on the U.S. policy on fighting terrorism. It went something like this, the story. The U.S. gives monetary aid to Pakistan to help them counter Taliban insurgents. There is evidence that Palestine is supporting the Taliban. And the U.S. is fighting a losing war against this Taliban ideology. Am I stupid, or are they smarter? Journalists are just as bad. They're the ones that are supposed to provide objective evidence, that feedback on our socio-economic dynamics, in our community, for the purpose of helping me, you, take action that are supposed to benefit us. But journalists are also driven by their own self-interest. They have a tendency to take some crumbs and make a meal out of them. The story of the day is an example. The short time that they give to most reports, it requires that a complex subject be made so simple that in reality it misleads. It does not inform. And they're all more concerned about image than actual meat or objective evidence. Where is the substance? Objectiveness among journalists is about dead. Many of the current media reporters have forgotten we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. They should use them in that ratio. Listen more, talk less. If mathematics and music are man's greatest inventions, since they are the universal language of science and our humanity, or at least our attempts to understand our humanity, then religion is man's most dangerous idea. Religion divides people. It does not bring us together. A classic case of an idea for search for meaning taken to a fault. We have to replace the religious dogma. It's scary. Because of humans' innate desire to seek a personal union with nature, instead we should embrace the mystery of our own personal journey with nature. Forget anything that's organized. Making things worse are politicians, especially those with strong or fundamental religious beliefs. They are extremely dangerous to our future. Their faith-based values cloud any critical decision-making capability that affects us, because they think they know. Church and state must be separated. A secular state offers the most potential for our survival. We have evolved into a dynamically unstable socioeconomic state of affairs. It's time for a new age of enlightenment. In summary, I declare the world to be in a state of what I call FUBAR. Fucked up beyond all recognition. The physicist, the American physicist, Richard Feynman, responded to the post-modern war with science. We keep poo-pooing science. He said it very well in this struggle between art and science. He said, "Poets say scientists takes away from the beauty of the stars, mere globs of gas atoms. I too can see the stars on a desert night and feel them. But do I see less or more?" Rational thinking has got to become fundamental to us. It's fundamental to critical thinking. We must embrace it. Remember, in an imperfect world with imperfect people, life is a comedy for those who think and a tragedy for those who feel. We must laugh at the human condition. We have evolved with a brain capable of great imagination and abilities to solve problems. However, it cannot answer simple questions. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Truly, if there is comedy, it's in our lives. It's like the divine comedy. We need to embrace the mystery and laugh. Remember, all of us are running to where we came from. Think of life as photography, a burst of light between two eternal states of darkness. It's your choice to decide if you're here to laugh or to cry. Live as you are being born. Instead of dying to some illusion of afterlife, you know, because there's going to be no one there to greet you. Oh, I almost forgot what's in my pocket. That was one of the questions for this. Actually, nothing. Sometimes I have a few pennies. And that's because corporations have robbed me and politicians continue to look at me as a cash cow, and they're milking me. So, let me end by saying I am Joe Walmart, and if you do wish to give me any feedback, you can write to me at the FUBAReditorials@hotmail.com or JoeWalmart@hotmail.com. Remember, Joe Walmart is not my real name.